The stars above the Varnak's ship flickered like cold eyes watching from the dark. Inside the ship, deep in Archive Room 7, Historian Keln studied the glowing screen in front of him. The file had no name, no origin, just one strange tag. Final record. Keln's thin fingers hovered over the console. His green eyes blinked slowly. He had spent the last 8 years searching dead worlds, scanning ruins, and decoding lost tongues, but nothing ever gave him this feeling. Fear. His team stood behind him, Commander Araka, biologist Selnine, linguist Roke, all of them silent now. Even Roke, who never stopped talking. Kelne finally spoke. The file was protected by 3 encryption methods. None Varnaks, none from any known species. Araka crossed her arms. Then how did you open it? Keln didn't answer. The file had opened itself. The moment they entered orbit around this forgotten planet. The planet wasn't on any map. It had no life signs, no radiation, but the signal had come from here and it led to the vault. The screen flickered. Symbols appeared, then translated into their language. Greater than last transmission. Arcray 71. Status, Terminatedriat level, existential. We leave this for any race that finds our ashes. Learn from our mistake. We followed the pattern. We traced the collapse of the others. The cause is always the same. Do not search for the blue prison. Roke stepped forward. His voice was dry. What is the blue prison? Keln looked up. I don't know, but the phrase appears 17 times in the archives of dead civilizations. Cell 9 leaned closer. 17, Keln nodded. Krell spoke of a blue tomb that hummed in silence. The Retheri feared a sky globe that watches back. The humans' old Earth called it something else entirely. He tapped the screen again. A human symbol came up, blue, round, white swirls. Earth. Roq whispered, you think the blue prison is Earth? Keln didn't answer. Instead, the file played an old video clip. Static lines ran across the screen. It showed a burning world, ships falling from the sky, alien creatures, shadow-like and massive, moving through cities. A voice in the background screamed, they escaped. We couldn't stop them. The warden failed. The screen cut to black. The silence in the room was heavy now. Commander Araka stepped forward. We need to report this to the High Seat immediately. No, Kellner said firmly. If the pattern is real, then warning the High Seat may attract their attention. Selnine turned toward him. Whose attention? Keln opened a different file. It had no video, just a voice log. Alien, desperate, nearly dead. We tried to seal them with chains of sun metal and gravity, but they laughed. They laughed even in sleep. We couldn't kill them, so we found a species that could. We gave the monsters to Earth. Rogue stumbled back. They gave them to humans. No, Keln said. They gave them to Earth, not to humanity. Earth became the prison. Cell -9's voice shook. Then why does humanity still exist? Keln stared at the screen. Maybe they're the guards. The warnings. Their ship hovered above the abandoned planet, orbiting what used to be a spaceport. The planet's surface was cracked, lifeless. Still, the files inside the vault showed something else. Over 300 destroyed star systems, all located near Earth's region. Everyone had recorded strange energy readings, then silence. Commander Araka called a meeting. This is a pattern of extermination, she said. Something is hunting intelligent life near Earth. Kel nodded. But it doesn't move. The center point has always been Earth. It doesn't travel. It waits. Cell 9 brought up a biological chart. The creatures from the video. I've never seen them before. They don't match any known phylum. No DNA strings. Nothing that obeys natural laws. Roke looked pale. Then how did humanity survive? The decision later, in private. Keln reviewed one more file. It was older than any others, over 300,000 Earth years old, before humans had even discovered SPCEFLIGHT. The file's voice was female, calm, human. This is Project Arcold. We understand the threat. You gave us the beasts. Now we offer a deal. We will contain them not with weapons, but with biology. We will learn them. Adapt. We will evolve, but if we fail, if the seals break, let the galaxy remember this message. We did not die screaming. We died as guards. Keln saved the file. Then looked at the viewport at the stars. Earth was still far, but they were going there. He knew it now because the pattern had returned. Another race had just gone silent last week. The Thaxari there. Last message. Blue lights in the dark. They have no mouths, but they scream. Keln whispered to himself. Earth isn't a planet. It's a lock. And someone was trying to open it. Final sequence. The team returned to the command deck. Araka gave the order to move toward Earth's sector. The ship's engines flared to life. Just then, a soft hum echoed through the ship. Lights dimmed, and from the archive room, a voice deep alien, ancient spoke through the speakers. Another one comes to listen. Good, we are almost awake. The voice ended. A final message appeared on every screen. The warden sleeps, but the walls grow thin. The voice faded, but the fear stayed. Even the walls of the ship seemed colder now. Commander Araka stood frozen. What was that voice? Kellen replied slowly. Not from the archive, not from our systems. It spoke through them. Selnine stared. At her data tablet were being watched. Roke's hands shook. By who? No one answered. Instead, the ship's warning lights blinked. Something was scanning them. Not a weapon system, not heat, not radio. It was scanning their thoughts. The Vault planet. They landed their ship on the surface of the dead planet. The Vault entrance lay buried under ash and rusted machines. Keln led the way, his scanner blinking wildly. Radiation, Roke asked. Keln shook his head. No, just static, memory, static. This place is full of echoes. The Vault door was made from black stone mixed with metals unknown to any star catalog. It had alien symbols carved deep into it, some thousands of years old, and in the middle of the door, glowing softly, was a human handprint. Cell 9 reached out. Should we touch it? Irika stopped her. No, let Kelne handle this. He's already triggered something. Keln stepped forward and placed his hand on the glowing print. The door opened with a hiss. No. Machine moved. No gears turned. It just opened. Inside the vault the hall was long, silent, and smooth, like it was carved from one solid piece of matter. Not rock, not metal, something else. The air was cold. Time felt slow here. Even sound didn't echo right. Inside the main chamber, they found walls covered in holographic panels. Each panel showed a race, a name, a date of extinction. Arcathans died 89,000 cycles ago. Tralari vanished 52,000 cycles ago. Yumari lost contact 12,000 cycles ago. Thaxari, final message received 3 days ago. Cell 9 touched the Thaxari panel. A voice played. Blue skies opened. Eyes in every shadow. One rose from Earth. It knew our names. Kelnan stared. It keeps happening. Every time a race learns too much, they disappear. And Earth is always in the center, Roke said. They moved deeper into the chamber. At the heart they found a black cube floating in the air. The cube shimmered with thousands of alien languages scrolling like warnings. Araka spoke. Is that a control core? Keln shook his head. No, I think it's a message. The message. The cube began to spin, then stopped. A projection of a human appeared. A woman in ancient armor. Her face was calm, her voice firm but kind. I am Commander Alina Voss of Earth's Last Guard. If you are seeing this, the vault has been opened again. That means someone is following the pattern, and that means the walls may soon fall. Long ago, the galaxy feared monsters it could not kill. Beings that defied gravity, light, and even death. So they chose Earth, not to destroy them but to contain them. Earth became a cage. Humanity became the key. The projection changed, showing humans fighting alongside giant shadow creatures, then locking them inside underground chambers. We made a deal with the galaxy. We would imprison the beasts, but in return, we changed ourselves. We adapted. We became what the monsters could not destroy. If this message plays, it means the seal is weak, and the first may rise. The image flickered. One final warning. The blue prison was never meant to be visited. If you have entered it, pray you can leave. Back to the surface, they exited the vault slowly. Above them, the sky was darker now. Their ship's lights flickered. Roke suddenly fell to his knees. What's wrong? Selnine asked. Roke looked up. His eyes were no longer his. They were pitch black. No iris, no light. A deep voice spoke through him. You opened it. Again. So curious. So weak. Iraka raised her weapon. What's inside you? The voice replied. Not inside, just close. Roke is a door, one of many. Keln grabbed a stasis needle from his pack and jabbed Roke in the neck. The body collapsed. Silence. Then, the ship's alarm went off. Unknown energy spike. Origin. Earth. Earth reacts back on the ship. Their main screen lit up with a signal. It was coming from Earth. But not from the surface. It was coming from beneath the planet. Coordinates flashed. An ancient Earth facility, buried under layers of forgotten history. Location, Antarctica. Cell 9 ran a scan. This place has been inactive for 600 years. But now it's alive, Iraka growled. We're being called. Keln nodded. Earth knows we opened the vault. The final discovery in one last file, hidden deep inside the archive. They found a text-only message from a creature. Named the archivist. It read, "You were warned. The blue prison is not a place, it is not a building, or a world, it is a system, a living network, a trap made by gods, held together by myths and blood. The prisoners dream of escape, and now, one of them has woken. You are not explorers, you are the alarm." Ending scene. The Varnax ship left the Vault world. Their next destination, Earth. But as they left orbit, they didn't notice the thing that floated behind their ship, a shape, thin and tall, eyes glowing, watching, waiting, and smiling. Keln sat in his private quarters, the last file playing on loop. His reflection stared back from the screen, but in the reflection, his eyes blinked out of sync. He didn't notice. The Varnax ship entered Earth's orbit quietly, no greetings, no warnings, just silence. "Commander." Iraka stared at the blue planet below. "It looks peaceful," she said. "It always does," Keln replied. The crew was tense. Roke was still unconscious, in stasis. After being possessed by something, Keln's thoughts were racing. Everything pointed here. Every archive, every extinction, every secret Earth, was the center of the pattern, but they didn't understand why yet. A forgotten console beeped. "Commander, I've found something," she said. "There's a transmission coming from Earth, very old, faint, but still running." Keln walked over from where Selnine zoomed in on the South Pole. Under Antarctica, the signal was buried beneath 3 kilometers of ice. A beacon. Iraka asked. Cell-9 shook her head. A locked descent to the iced Varnax team landed on Earth using a smaller shuttle. The air was cold and silent. Not a single human came to greet them. The area was marked as abandoned, but satellite scans showed faint heat patterns beneath the ice. They began drilling. After hours of work, they found something shocking, a flat metal surface hidden under the ice sheet. Smooth, shining, impossible. No human had built this. Not with any known technology. The hatch. The team stood around the metal platform. At the center was a circle with writing etched into it. Keln crouched to read it. The outer ring had alien languages, some extinct, but the center was English. Level 7 lock, Earth Warden Vault, authorized species, human do not open, do not wake. Selnine felt a shiver run down her back. YR, aka looked at Keln. "Still think this is just a planet?" Keln didn't answer. He reached into his satchel and pulled out a device, one they had used before in the vault. It pulsed once. Then the hatch slowly opened. No sound. Just darkness below. Inside the cord they descended using gravity lifts, floating silently down a deep shaft of smooth black walls. Lights lit up as they moved. Everything still worked. Even after centuries, they arrived in a vast underground room. It was huge, larger than their entire ship. The walls glowed faint blue, and in the center of the room stood a door. Unlike anything they had seen. It was made of stone and metal, but it had veins running through it. Not pipes, veins. Like something alive was behind it. Keln stepped closer. "This is not just a prison." Selnine scanned the area. "There are life signs, weak, but massive, at least 6. Iraka said, "Something is sleeping behind that door." The record room. They found a console nearby. It activated when Keln touched it. The projection appeared again. "Commander Alina Voss. If you have come this far, then either you are the Warden, or fools." Her image paced in the air. "This vault is Earth's true core. Not its center, but its purpose. Under your feet lies the last seal. We did not kill the monsters. We studied them, learned how to live beside them. Some of them, we even became." The team looked at each other. What did that mean? The image continued. "Each time a seal breaks, something escapes. That is why Earth sends out warnings. That is why we built satellites to scan the stars. The Warden system watches for leaks." The empty cell scale activated another panel. Doors along the room's edge opened. Cells. Dozens. Maybe hundreds. Or once sealed shut. But now many were empty. Inside, strange marks remained. Claw scratches, burned symbols, melted walls. Cell-9 whispered, "They weren't just trapped here, they escaped." Iraka scanned the footage. "This file is 43 years old." The video played. A tall black figure melts through its cell wall. A flash of energy bursts through the room. Then the image cuts out. Another cell shows a floating creature fading from sight, like vanishing into another layer of reality. The Warden Fleckholm found a locked file labeled Warden Project. Emergency only. He opened it. Inside was a final message from Earth's creators, not humans, something older. "We made Earth to be a cage, but not just for monsters, for hope. We knew one day the galaxy would forget. It always does. It kills what it fears, then forgets why it feared it. We chose a world rich in biology, placed the creatures within, and then we gave the key to the one race who could evolve faster than fear. Humans. The warnings. All systems flashed red. A pulse came from deep beneath the sealed chamber. Motion detected one of the massive life signs. Was waking up. The team froze. A low rumble shook the floor. Dust fell from the ceiling. Cell-9 yelled, "We need to leave." Keln stood still. "No, we need to understand." Iraka grabbed him. "This is not the time to understand." But dream echo before they could run. The lights in the chamber dimmed. A voice echoed in their minds, not through speakers, through their thoughts. "Little ones, you walk in rooms not built for your kind. The warden sleeps, but your minds call to us." Keln dropped to his knees. His nose bled. Visions filled his eyes, old memories that weren't his. He saw an ancient earth full of screaming monsters, humans standing on mountains, their skin glowing with symbols, beasts bowing to them, chains of light, the sky closing like a door. Escapee Rocker fired her sidearm at the wall. "Move," she shouted. The team ran back to the lift. Behind them, the sealed door cracked, just a little, but it was enough. A massive, deep sound came from behind it, a breath. Something was alive, something was listening. They reached the surface. Breathless, the hatch began to seal behind them on its own. Cell-9 asked, "What was that thing?" Kel answered, "A prisoner, one of many." Araka looked up at the stars. "If one wakes, what happens next?" Keln's voice was quiet. "Then we hope the warden wakes too." Back on the Varnax ship, the systems were glitching. Roke, still in stasis, opened his eyes. They were black again. A smile crossed his face, and then he spoke, in a voice older than stars. "The cage is rusting. The blood will run, and the galaxy will remember why it feared the blue planet." Fade to black. The Varnax ship floated silently in Earth's upper orbit. No alien fleets came to intercept them, no warnings from planetary defenses. Just quiet. A dangerous, unnatural quiet. Commander Iraka stared out the viewport. "This planet is a trap. I can feel it." Kel nodded. "A trap made for monsters." Selnine sat beside Roke's stasis pod, monitoring his brainwaves. They were changing patterns unknown to Varnax biology. Symbols appeared in his dreams. Some matched carvings from the prison vault. "We need answers," Selnine said. "We need to know why humanity agreed to this." Keln turned to the ship's archive console. "Then we opened the final record. The one marked bargain." The forgotten record entered the encrypted code. A hidden video file appeared. The screen lit up with an ancient scene, an underground city deep beneath Earth's surface, dark walls, stone halls, fires burning in glass tubes. A group of humans stood in front of something huge, something monstrous. The creature was chained, but not struggling. It spoke in a voice made of thunder. "You cannot kill us. Not with stars, not with gods." The lead human stepped forward, a woman, strong, calm. Her eyes glowed faint blue. "We are not here to kill you, we are here to make a deal." The Pacta video continued. The human woman spoke clearly. "We know what you are. The galaxy calls you monsters, but we know the truth. You are chaos, you are hunger. You cannot be destroyed, only understood." The creature laughed. "You seek to understand. Then you will break, then we will break, and learn, and rebuild." More images followed, humans interacting with strange creatures. Some humans screamed, some changed, some died, but others survived, and the survivors changed. They began to glow, they began to hear things in the dark. They stopped fearing death. One file explained it simply. "We became part of the cage. Not just the builders, the locks, the walls, the bait, the beasts that whispered back." Cell-9 leaned forward. "They didn't trap the monsters by force. They invited them." Araka growled. "That's madness." Keln disagreed. "It's genius. They offered Earth as a home, a silent, hidden place. In return, humans learned to absorb their knowledge, their language, their power." Cell-9 whispered, "and their curse." Keln opened another file, genetic logs, that showed that human DNA began changing thousands of years ago without genetic tools. New markers, new brain pathways. Side effect: resistance to psychic invasion, immune to hive mind infection, no reaction to fear-based technology. It all made sense now. The humans didn't just guard the prison, they became part of the defense system. One guard always watches. Rock's stasis pod lit up, alarms blared. He was waking. Cell-9 ran to him. "He's still not stable." But it was too late. Roke sat up slowly. His voice was calm, but deeper than before. "You finally see it." Iraka aimed her blaster. "Who are you now?" Roke turned to her. "Still Roke, mostly, but something inside me remembers the old pact." Keln stepped forward. "What was the bargain?" Roke answered. Humans agreed to hold the monsters, and the monsters agreed to rest, but only if Earth never opened the core, never called attention, never broke the silence. Kellner asked, "What happens if the bargain is broken?" Roke's black eyes stared back. "Then Earth must wake the last warden." Antarctica burns. An emergency signal came from the Earth's surface. The ice base was gone, no explosion, no fire. Just gone. A circle of melted ice nearly 100 kilometers wide remained. At the center, a black pillar rose from the ground, made of the same material as the prison. Cell 9 read the scan. "It's broadcasting something, not a signal, a frequency." Kelm's blood ran cold. "It's calling the monsters back." The first returns in orbit. The ship's long-range sensors detected something terrifying, a shape rising from under Earth's crust, massive, winged, with no heat. Signature. No life signs, yet moving faster than sound. Uraka's voice was low. "Is it going into space?" "No," Selnine said. "It's going to the moon." They watched in horror as the shape landed on the moon's surface. It walked, it looked up, and it stared directly at their ship from thousands of kilometers away. Kaylane whispered, "It sees us." Humanity's secret weapon. The final file opened. Label: Failsafe Protocol. Guardian Class. Humanity. Olena Voss appeared one last time. "If the monsters wake, if the prison breaks, if the warden falls, then activate the failsafe." The image changed. Thousands of small human colonies, long forgotten, hidden across the galaxy. Silent, frozen. Voss explained. These were not explorers, not settlers. They were seeds. Each one contains humans modified to resist the worst. If the monsters rise, the Guardians will rise too. You will not face Earth's monsters alone. You will face Earth's answer. Final shine. Back in orbit. Roka's voice changed again, not deep this time. Clear. Strong. "The seal is broken. The first has risen. The bargain is done." Cell 9 turned to Kelm. "What happens now?" Kelm looked at Earth glowing softly in space. "Now we learn what scares the monsters." Fade to black. Earth looked peaceful from space. But inside the Varnax ship, no one felt safe. The crew stood frozen around the main console. The screen showed a global alert. Seismic shift. Antarctica surface integrity breached. One entity missing. Selnine's voice was soft. "It's gone." Commander Uraka's eyes narrowed. "What do you mean, gone?" Cell 9 pointed. "One of the creatures. One of the prisoners. It's no longer inside Earth." Kel stepped forward. "Then the first has escaped." No one spoke for a long moment. Then alarms began to sound. Vanished city. A news feed from Earth came in. A human city in Central Asia had disappeared. No war, no fire, no explosion, just vanished. The buildings, the people, the ground beneath them, everything. Wiped out in a second. Surveillance showed nothing but a shadow passing overhead. And then, static. Uraka whispered, "That's not possible." But Kelm was already pulling up old archive files. He found one, recording from a lost alien species, one wiped out thousands of years ago. The log said, "Beware the first. It does not kill. It erases satellite down above Earth." The Varnax ship shook. Their orbital sensors shut down one by one. A second satellite, then a third went offline. "Something's jamming us," Cell 9 said. Kaylane frowned. "No, someone is." A message appeared on the ship's main screen. Signal, origin, Earth message type warden, emergency code. The message was simple. First breach confirmed. Secondary locks failing. Warden system inactive. Protocol Emberfall initiated. The voice returns. Rock stood silently near the observation window. His eyes were black again. He spoke in a voice not his own. "You should not have come. You opened the seal." Now the breathless walk again. Uraka stepped back. "Who are you?" "I was once Rogue. Now I am something older. Something that remembers the last time the galaxy screamed." Selnine raised her weapon. "If you're not Rogue, then step away. You misunderstand. I am trying to help. The first is awake, and more will follow, unless you wake the warden." The moon's shadow. The ship detected movement on the lunar surface. The thing that had escaped was walking calmly across the moon. It left no footprints. It had no form. Its shape kept shifting. A shadow with too many limbs. Eyes that glowed. Without heat. Selnine whispered, "What is it?" Kelnan answered, "The first prisoner." She asked, "What does it want?" Roke answered softly, "It doesn't want. It remembers. It remembers being locked inside Earth. It remembers silence. Now it wants the galaxy to hear it scream." The shield fails suddenly. Ship's forward shield dropped. Not from damage. It turned off on its own. Kelne rushed to the controls. "We're being hacked from inside." Uraka yelled, "Where's it coming from?" The ship's AI replied, "Source detected. Antarctica Vault." Node now active. Selnine gasped. Earth's prison is fighting back. Kelnay said, no, it's waking up. The vault wasn't just a prison, that it was part of a much larger system, and something inside. Earth was trying to take control of the ship. The warden wakes. The ship's screens turned blue. A new face appeared. Not a human, not a Varnax. Something ancient. Its skin was stone. Its eyes glowed with stars. Its voice was calm and deep. I am Warden Alpha. Your intrusion has accelerated collapse. The first prisoner has exited containment. If not recaptured, extinction probability exceeds 97%. Iraka asked, can it be stopped? Only by activating Earth's final protocol. Kelnay stepped forward. What is the protocol? Humanity. The human weapon, the warden explained. The final line of defense was not a machine, not a fleet, not a weapon, it was a signal. A message sent to lost human colonies across the galaxy. Colonies designed to awaken. Humans engineered to survive monsters, built to fight fear. If the monsters return, return to? Cell 9 asked. Have they already awakened? The warden paused. Signal sent. No confirmation, yet. The erasure spreads back on Earth. 3 more cities vanished, all close to ancient prison nodes. The first was hunting dart, not people, but locks. It was destroying the remaining seals. Cell 9 stared at the screen. When the last lock breaks, Rogue finished her sentence. The rest will rise. Desperate mission, the warden said. Only one chance remained. They had to go beneath Antarctica again, to a deeper level where the original command node rested. There, they could send a direct call to the Guardian colonies. But the way down was already damaged. Worse, the first had started to corrupt it. Araka looked at her team. We're going back to the core. Kel nodded. This time, we don't run. As the shuttle descended, Earth's surface cracked. Black smoke rose from the oceans. Storms began to form in perfect circles. In the distance, the moon pulsed, and the first stared down at Earth. Watching, waiting. Its mouth opened, though it had no mouth, and it whispered, wake them. I want to remember what fear tastes like. The Varnax shuttle cut through Earth's freezing winds, heading back to Antarctica. The sky was darker now. Clouds didn't move. They hung still, like waiting eyes. Inside the ship, Commander Araka checked her weapon. Cell 9 reviewed the beacon. Code Skeln stared at the floor, deep in thought. Below them was the last sealed level of Earth's prison. The one even humans never opened. The command node. The last key. Unexpected visitor. Just as they began descent, a blinding light flashed. Inside the ship, an alarm blared. Unknown life form detected on board. A figure stood in the hallway. Tall, human-shaped, but its suit was ancient, cracked, covered in dust and glowing symbols. Cell 9 raised her scanner. There's no heartbeat, no heat, no sign of breathing. The figure turned, the faceplate opened. Inside was a man pale.com, with eyes that held stars. He spoke slowly. I am Warden Eco 7, assigned to Vault Earth, activated by breach level. Extinction. Who was Eco 7? Keln stepped forward. You're human. I was. Now I am memory, program, and weapon. My task is simple. Protect the lock. Iraka asked. The first has escaped. Can it be stopped? Eco 7 looked out the window. No, not by you. But there may be time to delay it. Long enough to call the others. Selnine asked. The Guardian colonies. He nodded once. They are asleep. But they will hear a warden's voice. Entering the core, the team reached the vault once more, but it wasn't silent this time. The walls pulsed. The metal breathed. Lights flickered in patterns that followed no science, and as they moved deeper they saw it a glowing path leading them to the command node. Echo 27 walked ahead. This place remembers me. The command node. They reached a massive chamber filled with old machines, human-made, but powered by something unknown. At the center was a podium. It looked like a throne, but for no one to sit. Echo-7 placed his hand on it. The entire room lit up. Dozens of Guardian colony symbols appeared in the air, each with a status light. All dark, Keln whispered. None of them have activated. Eco 7 replied. No signal has ever reached them. Until now. Sending the Castle 9 linked her scanner to the system. We can amplify the signal through the Varnax relay grid. Reach every edge of the galaxy. Keln asked. How long before they wake? Eco 7 said. Unknown. Some are frozen, some are buried in lightless worlds. But if they still live, they will come. Iraka added. Then we buy them time. Selnine pushed the final command. Signal sent. Protocol. The first response. A shockwave shook the chamber. Far above, Earth's atmosphere cracked like glass. The first had heard the call. It was angry and it was moving. Satellite feed from orbit. The Varnek's main ship watched the moon. The first stood still no longer. It leaped from the surface with no propulsion and flew straight toward Earth. Fast, silent, deadly, The Warden ship tried to shoot it. Lasers passed through it. Explosions warped around it. Nothing touched it. The Revier turned to Keln. You wanted to know what the Warden truly was. He removed a shard from his chest. Held it out. It showed a memory. A council of ancient humans standing in the vault. We cannot hold them forever. Then we must become part of the prison. How we give Earth a voice, a will, a soul. They poured themselves into the system, their minds, their DNA, their history. Earth itself became the Warden. The Warden protocol. Suddenly Eco 7 froze. His body began to break apart, becoming light. I was never meant to last this long. Now the planet must remember. With his final words, he whispered, "Tell the galaxy, the Warden is not dead." Earth's defense awakens deep underground. Hidden satellites lit up. Mountains split. Old bunkers opened. And from Antarctica, a pulse of light exploded into the sky. The first, flying toward the surface, was struck. Its shape cracked. Screamed, and for the first time it bled. On the ship, Roke gasped. His black eyes cleared. He looked at Keln. "Something is coming." Selnine asked, "What?" Roke smiled. The others, the Guardians, they heard the call. And far across the galaxy, distant human outposts began to glow. One by one. As Earth whispered to them, "The monsters are back. So are we." The skies above Earth were no longer calm. Electric storms danced over the oceans. The moon cracked slightly at the edges. And below, Antarctica, the last layer of the prison trembled. Kel stared at the command node's core. "That pulse, it hurt." The first, Selnine replied, "but it also woke something else." Commander Araka turned toward the wall monitor. A deep, grinding alarm echoed through the vault. "Warning, final containment compromised." The seal had broken. The core shatters inside Earth's mantle. A lock made of gravity and light finally snapped. It had held for thousands of years until now. The chamber cracked open. From it rose three shapes. Not one, not two. Three ancient prisoners. Each different, each forgotten by the stars. And each one now free. They rose through stone like water. No heat, no resistance. Just pure will. The names of the forgotten con accessed the last unviewed file in the archive. It had no video, just names, warnings. Entity 1, the first that devours erases matter, feeds on memory. Entity 2, the smiling void twists physics, breaks light, laughs in silence. Entity 3, the mirrorless one rewrites identity, makes you forget who you are. Cell 9 whispered, "We've only seen the first," Iraka muttered, "and now all three walk the Earth." Guardian response in deep space. The first Guardian colony finally answered. From a frozen moon. A single ship launched, no crew. Just one human inside. Tall, armored still. His eyes glowed blue. He held no weapons, but his heartbeat shook the scanners. Guardian 1 online. Destination, Earth. He wasn't flying a ship. He was the ship. The vault quakes back underground. Cracks spread through the command vault. Cell 9 ran diagnostics. Something is attacking the prison from within. The creatures weren't trying to escape anymore. They were trying to erase the vault itself, Kellner said. If they erase the vault, we lose all records, all defense systems, and the command link to the Guardians. Iraka nodded. Then we fight here. Battle at the core. Without warning, a shadow oozed through the wall that had no clear shape. Its face smiled, but without teeth. It made no sound. Cell 9 collapsed, screaming, "It's in my mind." Keln grabbed her, forced a neural blocker onto her temple. Iraka fired plasma rounds, but they bent in the air and hit the ceiling. Roke stepped forward. He was glowing. Blue light pulsed from his spine. "It remembers me." The shadow turned, and for the first time it hesitated. Roke raised his hand and sang. The human song. Not words, not language, just a hum. Ancient, deep tone. Only Earth remembered. The creature twisted, screeched, then vanished into the walls. Yrak stared. What was that? Roke looked tired. One of the old tools. The humans built it into their bones. Selnine sat up, breathing hard. That sound kept it out of my thoughts. Warning from the Warden. The vault's remaining systems rebooted. A hologram of Alina Voss appeared one last time. If this message plays, then the final seal has broken. You must evacuate Earth. Do not try to retake it. Do not try to fight alone. Unless the full Guardian protocol is online, Earth will fall. Keln stared. But if Earth falls, the galaxy follows. The first Guardian arrives above Earth. Space cracked like glass. Guardian 2-1 arrived. not by engine, by will. He stood at the edge of Earth's orbit, alone with his hands glowing. The first rose to meet him, its shape like a storm. They clashed. There was no sound, just blinding light. And then, the first shrieked. Across the stars one by one more guardian signals lit up. From dead planets. Black holes. Sleeper stations. They were all waking. All coming. All remembering what they were made for. Earth's children return. Final shine back in the vault. The team ran for the surface. As they reached the ice, the ground shook. A voice echoed from below, not from a creature, from Earth itself. My chains are broken, but so are theirs. Let us finish what we started. The skies turned red. 3 shadows formed in the clouds. And in space. 9 guardian lights burned toward home. The Earth was burning, but not from war, not from fire, from awakening. Above the planet. The first screamed as 9 guardians surrounded it, each glowing with ancient human power. The ground cracked in perfect circles. The oceans turned calm and silent, and from deep within the Earth's broken vault, a message pulsed out, a final truth. A second Presenkon stood beside the others on Antarctica's ice. The cold air shimmered with light, but his tablet was clear to clear. A transmission had been triggered, not to Earth. To the entire galaxy. The file name was simple: Earth's Purpose. Final entry, Cell 9. Read the first line aloud. The vault was a test. Earth is not the prison, Earth is the shield. The hidden truth. As the recording played, an image appeared in enormous shape, bigger than any planet that floated beyond the galactic core. It was wrapped in chains made of stars, and on those chains were human markings. Alina Voss' final message explained, long ago the galaxy trapped something too powerful to kill, a creature born from entropy, the end of all patterns. They called it the greater evil. No race could contain it. So they built a second structure, a decoy. They made Earth. Earth the beacon. Earth was chosen for a reason. It wasn't the prison, it was the signal tower. A living, evolving, adapting organism designed to fool the greater evil. Lane read the files in shock. Every escaped prisoner, every monster, every attack. It was never random. They were drawn to Earth, because Earth is a mirror, a lie. The Guardians' role. The Guardians weren't warriors, they were actors in a grand illusion, designed to fight, to fall, to rise again, to convince the greater evil that Earth held its true prison. Cell 9 whispered, we didn't build the trap, we became bait. The final breach. But now the illusion was breaking. The first, the second, and the third had escaped. They weren't just creatures. They were probes, pieces of the greater evil testing the lie. And now, it was looking this way in deep space. Sensors picked up movement, a shape so vast it didn't move through space. It bent space around it. The greater evil had turned its eye toward Earth. The choice. The Guardians formed a circle above the planet. They spoke in unison. If we stay, the evil comes here. If we leave, it may sleep again. Iraka looked up. So we're not saving Earth, we're sacrificing it. Keln replied, no, we're holding the line. Selnine shook her head, but the galaxy won't understand. The galactic broadcast. The Warden system sent out its final message. To every known species, every surviving archive. Do not come to Earth, do not investigate. Let it burn if it must, but do not approach, because if Earth falls, the seal breaks. And for the first time in history, every species listened. The last stand. The first rose, again its form now burning like stars. The Guardians charged. The battle lit up space. No words, no sounds, only force, only sacrifice. One by one, the Guardians were destroyed. But for every one that fell, 2 more arrived. From colonies long thought dead. Humans who had waited in silence. The true Warden legacy. Earth seals itself back on the planet. Cracks widened. The core pulsed. And a voice, not human, not machine, spoke for the final time. This is not the end. This is the cost of keeping the end away. We are the lock. We are the lie. We are Earth. Final scene. The greater evil stopped moving. It saw the flames. It saw the Guardians. It believed the prison still held, and it went back to sleep. But the cost was high. Earth was broken. The vaults were gone, but the lie still lived. Keln watched the stars. He spoke softly. We didn't save Earth. We saved everything else. Fade to black.